dreamers gone? Or have we all just gotten lazy? Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. Ooh, something strange is in the air. Seems that everybody's changing, and I can't find no faith anywhere. Seems it's been replaced with raging. Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above.
Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. What's going on, my people? What's going on out there? How y'all doing? Y'all know I had to do a show. Today. It's beautiful out. I got the system cranking and going. And we got some things that we're going to talk about. So as always, I need you guys to share out the video. Like I said, there's a lot of things to talk about today, some important things as far as what hazard pay, some important things regarding the safety of MTA workers and the riding public. And we're going to do some upkeep, what's going on with management and how they treat the employees and things of that nature, because some people just seem not to get it. And that's what bothers me. Some people just seem not to get it. And we got to make them get it. Because first and foremost, progressive action is for the members. We members first. We all in this together, but I'm members first. Anybody that goes against the members, they going to have an issue with me. I don't care who you are. That's just how it's going to work. If you guys want to donate to the platform, the Cash App is on the screen. The PayPal just popped up on the screen. You could donate that way. So yeah, let's get into some news, and this is for everyone like who works in New York State and New York City. You know, a lot of people been asking, hey, yo, what's up with hazard pay? You know, the talk for hazard pay has died down tremendously ever since things started going back to normal. You know, other states been getting hazard pay, and the workers in New York State, New York City, us, we haven't gotten a red penny from anyone regarding hazard pay. Now, an article just came out in Forbes that says that cities can give cities can use federal stimulus to cover up to $25,000 in hazard pay for grocery store workers and other essential workers. Now, everybody want to know, who is the other essential workers? I'm about to show you guys in a second. So this says, hold on, let me get to my notes. Got to get to my notes real quick. Yeah, so the industries that include hazard pay includes healthcare, public health, and safety, childcare, education, sanitation, transportation, and food and production services. All of those include the jobs that will be covered for the hazard pay. Now, this is the issue. For those of us who work in Local 100, we have been wondering, what happened to the hazard pay talk? Well, this is what happened to the hazard pay talk. The hazard pay can be given in this new budget that the federal government gave Cuomo. The issue becomes Cuomo now dishing out the hazard pay to the workers. Y'all remember like last June, Cuomo was like, you know, workers deserve hazard pay, tried to pass the blame and the buck to Trump. But now that he has the money, it's up to Cuomo to give workers hazard pay. So if you're a transit worker and you notice that, wow, the union hasn't been talking about hazard pay, you want to know why? Because that means that they have to ask Cuomo for it. And we already know how our union feel about Cuomo attacking him in any kind of way. You know, they are actually lapdogs for Cuomo. And you know what? I just remembered that I have some audio of Tony Utano basically saying that he is afraid to attack or to say anything about Governor Cuomo. And this is the type of weak leadership that we have. We have leadership that is afraid to attack Cuomo. So look, this is actually, I'm gonna play this audio. This is an exclusive audio. Someone recorded Utano talking about Cuomo, and it's gonna show how afraid Tony Utano is of Governor Cuomo. Let me get this audio queued up. Give me 1 second. Let me see how can I do this, because I just totally forgot about it. I totally forgot I had it, to be honest. So let me play this audio. It's downloading, and you guys is going to get a front row seat to see how fearful our union leadership is of Governor Cuomo. So check out this audio. Let me see. Check out this audio. Let me get to it. He said that Cuomo listened to the internet, right? I hope Cuomo hear this.
Get the fuck out of here!
I mean, yo, we are represented by some weak union leadership. And that speech that Tony Utano gave just now was very, very, very problematic. Now, this audio recording came from around 2019. And one of the issues with this audio recording, you know, instead of Utano using our union power and our union strength, he decided to bend over backwards. So he's like, we don't really want to say nothing bad against Cuomo because he got to sign our Tier 6 bill. Well, Cuomo didn't sign our Tier 6 bill. What did you guys do? You guys continue to support him. Utano said that he would be friends with any politician that would do right by the union. What politician besides Eric Adams, really? I mean, not Eric Adams. Eric Adams too, but Kevin Parker, that has really done right by the members, that actually sponsored bills that will greatly and positively affect us transit workers. This union leadership is only being friends with politicians for their own good, just to say, hey, I took a picture with the governor so they could go back with their family with. Hey, look, I'm standing with Eric Adams so they could go back to their family with. Because these are not men and women of character or of honor. They are not. They are not men and women of character and honor. Cuomo is not the guy who we should be bending over to. He has done nothing for us transit workers. Can someone tell me what Cuomo did for us transit workers? Can someone point out to me what Cuomo did for us transit workers? Now, Cuomo have our hazard pay in his hands. You have heard nothing about giving transit workers hazard pay. We should be on the first on the list. We lost the most workers. We have the highest rate of infection from COVID in the country in any one agency, the highest rate of death than any other agency in this country. Cuomo has our hazard pay in his hands, and he's not giving it to us. And guess what? Our union leadership is not saying anything about it. They not saying nothing about it. In fact, our union leadership didn't say anything when we didn't get masks. Our union leadership is not saying nothing about these assaults. Now, people would think that these assaults happened or started happening this year. No, these assaults been going on for a very, very, very long time. But the union refused to hold Governor Cuomo accountable for not deploying the right resources into the system. I mean, Governor Cuomo cut the mental health budget, cut the workers who could help some of these EDPs, some of these homeless. The governor cut that, not de Blasio. It's like they over there screaming, hey, look over there, and Cuomo's doing all the dirt over there. It's all a distraction. We don't negotiate with de Blasio when it's time for contract time. We don't actually do no business with de Blasio. Local 100 does no business with de Blasio. None whatsoever. Why are they holding de Blasio more accountable than they are holding Cuomo? Why is the union holding de Blasio more accountable than they holding Feinberg? I'm not saying that de Blasio shouldn't be held accountable for his actions, but what I'm saying is he shouldn't be number one on our list. Governor Cuomo should be number one on our list. And that's the issue that I have with this union. They are definitely afraid of Cuomo, and them being Tony Utano, John Samuelson, being afraid, kissing his behind, kissing Cuomo behind, giving the MTA a pass, is not only hurting the workers, it's hurting the riding public of New York City Transit, and that goes for buses and subways. I spoke about this years ago. This is not nothing new. When they brought those 500 cops into the system, I said that those cops is going to be there to patrol poverty, to police poverty. They are not there to protect workers and riders. That's not beneficial to them. It's about quotas. The easiest way, the passive way to get an arrest, to lock someone up for fare evasion. Now you'll probably get someone that got a warrant, and it's a bonus for them. So they would rather police poverty than protect the workers and the riders. So let's get into something de Blasio said that was very important, because if we listen to what the union got to say, they gonna have us jump off a building with no parachute. That's the path they've been leading us on. So let's look at what de Blasio had to say. De Blasio put this post up yesterday, and he made it clear that it's 2,500 officers in the system, with the NYPD surge of the 500 officers that they did back in 2019, and then a special NYPD special deployment of 250 officers. Now, what he said is, what's missing? MTA officers vacancies. Now, people may not know that the MTA police is supposed to police this system also. They supposed to police this system also. But the problem is that the MTA is in the business of contracting out all of our work. We talking about not only cleaning jobs, not only MOW jobs, not only CED jobs, but they also contracting out MTA police work. Well, Tramel, why do you say that they contracting out MTA police work? If you work in the subways, who do you see new in the system? You know what you see new? You see allied security guards. So instead of the MTA hiring MTA police, people with handcuffs, guns, and badges, people who create a deterrence for crime, they hired top flight security. And no offense to the people who's doing that. I love y'all. But this is crazy. The MTA has, and just to be clear, I used to do security also, so I'm not trying to throw dirt on you. I shouldn't have said that, to be honest, right? But the issue is that that's not the people for the job. The MTA want to cut corners every which way they can, and them cutting corners is very detrimental to our safety, is very detrimental to our health, well-being, is very detrimental for our mental health. And not only for the workers, but also for the riding public. Also for the riding public. So the MTA has contracted out MTA police officers' jobs, and guess what? Our union is down with that. Because not once did you hear them publicly say, where is the MTA police? Why isn't the MTA hiring more police officers? De Blasio said it clear. What's missing is MTA officer vacancies, and he said that these officer vacancies been happening for almost a year and a half, 2 years. That's when he said it been happening. So what's going on here? So now, as far as these 250 officers is concerned, they are not going to be in the system full time. These are going to be officers that's working, that's going to be going down there overtime to patrol the system. So we talking about officers that after they do their 8, 9, 10 hours or whatever the case is, that they are going to have to go into the subways, and we need them to be on full attention in order to get the job done. My dog is barking right now. I'm about to put her in the house or something. But yeah, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. What's wrong, Bonnie? Yeah, but this is what's happening. This is exactly what's happening. They are contracting out, basically, to put it in layman's terms, the MTA is contracting out our safety to people who's not qualified to do the job. Give me 1 second. Let me move my dog in the house. Give me 1 second. Had to put her in the house. She was messing up the show. But now, when the mayor announced these 250 officers, right? Guess what the union did in typical campaign fashion? They tried to claim victory for it. They tried to claim victory for something that was not a victory. This is what it says. TWU scores big win for worker rider safety as mayor announces 250 more cops for subway. Now, he said, Utano said, under constant attack from Local 100, the mayor has caved and is putting 250 more police into the subway. He made the announcements this morning. So the union, Tony Utano, tried to act like he put up this major fight. We got 250 more cops into the system because we stood up to De Blasio.
Get the fuck out of here!
Do they really think that we that stupid? Do they really think that we that dumb? It's no way possible that they think that we that dumb. It's no way possible that they think that, right? But I'm gonna show you something. It shows you that Utano and the MTA is not on the same page, because this is what the MTA spokesperson said about the extra cops in the subway. And she said, my statement on the smoke and mirrors from City Hall. In February, the mayor first announced a surge of 644 officers into the system, and then dozens of auxiliary officers dedicated to the 20 busiest stations, and then an additional 80 new officers from the NYPD Academy dedicated to the transit borough. Today, he announced an additional 250 officers being specially deployed to the subways. That total should come to more than 1,000 officers. Now it turns out 20% of those 644 have already been withdrawn, as we have previously raised concerns about the 250 announced today aren't new officers at all, but just extra shifts and will not even be full time. This mayor should immediately clarify for the public and our employees once and for all the real number of officers being dedicated to the safety of the subway system. Once again, she clearly said, let me find out, let me get back to it, that it's irresponsible for what the mayor has done. But like I said, look what the union did. TWU scores big win for worker rider safety as mayor announces 250 more cops for subway.
Get the fuck out of here!
This is the smoke screen and mirrors, ladies and gentlemen. The MTA themselves is saying that this is not a win, but the union couldn't wait to promote this and say, hey, this is a win. Look what we did, because we didn't do anything all year. So we got to show you guys what we doing. Like, this is so sad and sickening. I don't even understand how people could listen to them. I don't even understand how people can believe anything that they say. First and foremost, they are afraid to call out Governor Cuomo. Why are they afraid to call out Governor Cuomo? All these assaults was happening on transit workers, and not one time did they say a call of unity to go out there and have us all stand together in a show of unity. And the reason why they don't do that is because they don't want us to call them out on their incompetence and the role that they play in these assaults and the role that they have played in these harassments on the workers and the riding public. That's why they don't invite us to these events. They are afraid that the truth will come out about how they are acting here. That's what they're afraid of. They feel that they can control the narrative more if they don't tell us what's going on. And that's what they are attempting to do. But their time is running out. Their time is running out. And we got to make sure that their time is running out. We got to make sure that they don't get a second chance. Now, as far as what the NYPD is concerned, right? The NYPD put up this post the other day, right? And it was a post about them arresting a MTA worker for graffiti, right? Now, my problem with this is that they didn't have to put this up. Why is this news? This is not news. Like, the NYPD get a thrill out of catching MTA workers doing something crazy and exploiting us, putting us on Front Street, right? But Tony Utano loved Pat Lynch. But every time a situation come up with a transit worker, the NYPD is going all out to embarrass us, right? All out to embarrass us. Meanwhile, the real reason why MTA workers and the riding public is not being protected is because a lot of officers is doing what you're seeing on the screen right now. A lot of officers is doing that, right? They ain't go catch nobody. The only thing these officers is catching right now is some Z's. That's the only thing that they catching. But once again, the union don't say nothing about this. Deployment is an issue with NYPD in the system. Do we have enough cops? I believe we have enough cops, but the cops are not being properly deployed. When you do see them, they in groups, they on a company issued phones, or they hiding out in our crew rooms. It's very rare that you see police officers moving around in the system, making sure that it's right. Yeah, they do their little quota, Tom sweeps, train order maintenance sweeps. They do they quota of that. Hey, what's your pass? I don't be feeling like giving them my pass for what? Y'all doing all this is just for a quota, just to say that y'all out there doing work. Y'all not doing the work. I got plenty pictures of videos of NYPD officers sleeping in the rooms. Why isn't the union talking about this? Why isn't the MTA talking about this? They asking for more cops to come down here to hide out, basically. That's what's going on. And guess who's paying the piper? The workers and the riders. The workers and the riders. And then you just got this guy. What is, yo, ever since they legalized marijuana, this dude has been acting funny. What is up with de Blasio? Somebody tell me what's up with de Blasio, man. Somebody tell me what's going on with de Blasio. This guy is crazy. This guy is crazy. This guy's insane, man. This guy's insane. Now, we're going to get into some other news. I've been making some posts about some superintendents, about some TSS, and I just want to bring clarity to a situation. So I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to make a phone call real quick. In fact, let me take that off. I'm going to get a union rep on the line, because, you know, when we catch workers, you know, being riders being crazy. I mean, superintendents being crazy. We like to correct them. So let me get him on the line. Give me 1 second. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We have, well, let me make sure. Did it hang up? Hold on. Let me call him back. Let me get him back on the phone. Let me get him back on the phone.
Hello?
What's going on, bro? We got union rep Chris Drummond on the phone. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. Long time no show. We ain't see you on the show in a while, man. What you been up to?
Working, bro. I'm just walking in the house right this minute.
Yeah, you one of the hardest working, guys in RTO for sure. You know, up early. Hardest worker. There we go. Yeah. Now I made a post yesterday, or was it today? One of the, I'm doing so much, I don't know. But I made a post about some superintendents, specifically speaking the A-line, and to be even more clearer, Erica Williams, Welchel, Zaleski, those three basically, right? Now I'm gonna put Erica Williams' picture on the screen, right? Now, when I put it up, I had people say, she's a nice person, and she does right by the members, and she I never had an issue with her. You as a union rep that's down at 2 Broadway 5 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day, you have more of an insight than the average member, you would say, right?
Yeah, when it comes to a lot of superintendent supervision, yeah, I think so.
And you see a lot of the discipline that comes down there, correct?
Yeah, most of the discipline, yeah. All the discipline.
Okay. How would you classify Erica Williams?
First, let me say there's a lot of good supervisors, deputy superintendents, and some general. not enough of them, but a lot of good ones. And being you have to work with them. You got to form, for the sake of the membership and for the sake of just being a good union officer. You got to, in the sake of the membership. But in regards to Erica Williams, I would say that Erica Williams, and this is my opinion, not the union's opinion, this is my opinion, and any officer that we all try to work with all the superintendents, but I would say Erica Williams is probably right more of our members up than any superintendent. And she has said, in my experience, in dealing with her and dealing with the membership. And listen, of course, there's supervisors that you see this all the time, that when something happens with the Love, for instance, who happened to be on, there was people who he put money in their pockets. When I went down there and had my instance with them, the switchman wrote G2s against me.
That's right.
I went down there on behalf of the membership, and they wrote. So there's always going to be supervisors that haven't yet gotten a confrontation with one of our members and tried to write them up or unfair discipline or take them out of service unfairly or try to berate them or disrespect. Yeah, it's gonna. All I can say to the membership who say, our brothers and sisters who say that any supervisor, in particular, we're talking about Erica Williams, that she's all right. She's all right with you now. So it hasn't come to a point where, and I go, and anyway, if she is all right with this member, that member, like I've heard say on your show and by others, that assault to one is assault to us. So I don't care what supervisor is good with me and I have a relation with or cordial with, what have you. If I walk in the crew room or on the platform and they disrespecting one of my brothers and sisters, they're going to have problems.
Facts.
And I don't care how good. We could just spin the conversation. You're not going to disrespect any of my brothers and sisters in front of me or around me or I hear about it. So I'm glad that the members who had comments and speak positively of Erica Williams has not had any issues with her up until this point. But I'm saying, and I try to be truthful. I try to be a truthful man, and I try to be there. And no, my experiences with Erica Williams is that she sent things to labor relations that could have been dealt with in the field. Everything will happen. Deputy superintendents, these deputies, have the autonomy to give you a reinstruction in the field. Something could go left. Something could happen. They could say, I'm going to give you a verbal reinstruction. You sign the reinstruction, which is not discipline. The discipline order is reinstruction. Warning is the lowest form of discipline, then reprimand, and then days. So every supervisor has the autonomy, unless it's something, great. You hit the signal, you open up on the wrong side, you open those are issues. There's things that go on and just is out of their hands, that you are in violation of the rules, and it has to be sent to labor relations, and it has to be dealt with. And we all held accountable every day down. And they say for train operators, you're only as good as your last move, and same thing for conductors, you're only as good as your last turn, station stop. So yes, I would say Erica Williams is. I have with me, I can't speak to the other deputy superintendents, and I've only had one interaction with Zaleski. He's new on the line, so I don't know. I don't know line superintendent Zaleski. I do think there are a lot of line superintendents, like maybe possibly with law, is that a lot of things going on that the line. You got deputies that they don't know what's going on. So there are supervisors like Erica Williams and others who are going to protect dispatchers at all costs. They don't care about the fairness. They don't care about hearing your side of the story. They're only asking you to write a G2 as a formality.
Facts.
They are trying to protect their dispatchers, and they are not fair, and they're not professional, and they are in violation of a lot of the rules. 10C comes to mind, where you're supposed to be respectful and not disrespect your coworkers or your, it's a lack of a better word, subordinate. But yeah, I think I know. I mean, I think some supervisors think they can discipline their way to be a line superintendent, a general soup, or after wherever their ambition takes them.
That's a fact.
But I think they are punishing our brothers and sisters to try to advance their careers. I think, in my opinion, I think Africa Williams is one of them, and the worst example of a supervisor doing it. If you want to get, I give you an example. There was, and I spoke with, I didn't, I knew he was going to give me a call. I spoke to a conductor of 20 plus years, who, Erica Williams, who, the conductor on the C line, had walked into 168, and there was the cleaner, CTA, had walked in before and almost slammed her fingers in the door, almost slammed her door, her hand in the door, I'm sorry. And she said, don't you know you almost slammed the door? You almost slammed my fingers in the door? And he said, shut up, B. Next time, wash your hands. This was a cleaner. So he was, so they had some words in the past. So she asked anybody, did they hear what this cleaner said to her? How disrespectful he was.
Mm-hmm.
They said they didn't hear what went on. So he left. She went outside on the platform, and listen, this conductor, the female conductor, she's a strong sister. And Joyce on the sea, she's a good sister, strong sister. She speaks up for herself and for her brothers and sisters. And they got into a little bit. CSS Gilbert was there. He came across them arguing. He asked for G2 from Joyce, and she wrote G2 and all. Erica Williams came on the scene. I think she asked her for the G2. So she said, I want a G2. So while Sister Joyce is writing the G2, Erica Williams, it's an interval. Now you ask the conductor trainer off to write the G2, it's their understanding that they're going to have time to write the G2. And somebody's going to be pushed out or whatever that means. She said, so while she's writing, she said to her, why aren't you on your train? So Joyce finishes her, because Joyce says, because you asked me to write the G2. So she finishes her G2, gives it to her, and she goes down the road. Now, usually the practice is, if something happened on the road, the superintendent, a DSS, will take you out of the service where the incident takes place.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, Ms. Joyce had to do her trip, 2 more trips. She thought it was over with.
Mm-hmm.
She took out of the service a few hours later, which is unheard of. So basically, she made her do her trip and took out of service at the end of her day, which is cruel.
Facts.
Which is cruel.
Facts.
So Ms. Joyce is an older woman. She's not old, but she's an older woman. So she, not only that, what she recommended for her discipline was crazy. Crazy for someone with 20 years on the job. Listen, some of our brothers and sisters got losses at 2 Broadway. That's just the way it is. They get, for whatever reason, that happens. Nobody's perfect. And sometimes you have a bad week. Sometimes you have a bad month. You got things going on in your life and all that accumulates into an incident. Ms. Joyce had a clean, pristine record. Never been in trouble. And Ms. Williams tried to ruin her. Fortunately, and we as officers, we don't tell anybody, superintendents, anybody about someone's discipline. Ms. Joyce gave me permission to talk about this case, and it was fine. It was nothing. They found it at 2 Broadway, the officers there, labelations, that it was frivolous, that it should never have come to that day.
Now let me ask you a question. A lot of the discipline that comes down there from Erica Williams, would you consider it frivolous?
I mean, some of it is warranted. She has a job to do. Some of it's warranted, but I say out of all the superintendents, in my experience, I think that she unfairly writes things up, our brothers and sisters up, things that could be adjudicated or resolved at the terminus, like I said earlier. So yeah, I think that she's been unfair to the membership, and I think she writes. I think you can't. I remember an incident I had and tried to talk to her, and I couldn't talk to her. So yes, I think she enables bad practices by TSSs, and she unfairly writes our brothers and sisters up. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think
I've been hearing about, her, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, I don't have a lot of problems with superintendents. My problems from superintendents come from standing up for other people. And like you said something very important. People think that they could promote themselves through discipline. That's the culture here. If you want that, in order for you to show that you work for a promotion, you got to actually show contempt for the members. And no one could deny that culture here. You must show that you are against the members in order to get a promotion. And
I think
no, go ahead, you go.
No, I think there is a stream of consciousness that you have to come here, and you see it with dispatchers too. And fresh. I will never understand that. Like, I would never understand. Like, I could have partly understand somebody coming from stations. They don't really understand, and it's different. I don't understand how buses work 100%. I have an idea. I understand how stations work. I don't understand how MOWCD works per se, and their conversation and all that. But when you have been down here and experienced everything that we experienced, and even with COVID and all that, and still trying to inflict pain and pettiness and impose your will, and just rude and nasty and disrespectful people who do the exact same job for the grace of God that you pass. You have you manage to get the promotion without any bias or prejudice or nepotism, and then you turn that around. You got to dime over $1 to try to get at it. For all you dispatchers out there, you're nothing to me. You better hope and pray this next election that I'm not conducted here. Hope and pray that. Because that's me. That ain't even, things got to change down here. I don't care about the money down here. Our president and the VP will negotiate raises and certain issues. My thing is respect and dignity. That's my thing here. That's my thing here. And you got people here in everything we've been through this year, and I said it before, and nothing that the culture has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you got people right there, and they get off. So our brothers and sisters who say that, and when I go and have a talk with the dispatcher, and when I go and have a talk with dispatchers, because I've been told that this dispatcher sometimes through tears, sometimes through rage, sometimes just some of our members are just crushed and been crushed by the way they treated them. But when I come down there and I say, and I try to I need some G2. We need some G2 because it's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to change. And there are dozens of Erica Williams. She just happens to be, she's Erica Williams. So if it wasn't true, I wouldn't say it. If she didn't do that to Miss Joyce, who had just been called a bitch and was standing up for herself like a woman, and only was asking that she be treated with decency and respect from another woman who didn't have no empathy for that, and who basically wrote her up for defending herself, that's unforgivable in my eyes. And I won't forgive it. So I don't have to deal with Erica. We got other officers to deal with her. I won't. She has no credibility with me. There are a lot, like I said, let me be clear about this. There are managers and line superintendents, like I said, generals, who remember where they come from and have compassion, understanding, and reinstruction for our brothers and sisters who make mistakes down there. I have not seen it on the A line as yet. Now you got Laughing House, you got some good Sakata, you got some good people.
I want you to name off some good superintendents, because if we could put the bad ones on Front Street, we should be able to put the good ones.
I'm kind of it's late, but I could some for me that I deal with, and by I don't get in people's demeanors like when it comes to discipline, but people I could talk to and you can resolve issues. I think Sakat, Laughing House, in the A, I think Miss Hollingsworth is a good. I think in the B, I think Sadowski is these. I think Miss Williams on the E, okay. Johnson on the F is okay. Walters on the F is all right. I think Superintendent Kobe Grant, General Super, you could talk to him. I think what's her name? There's another Johnson in the A that you could deal with. I think some of the superintendents in system safety that you could talk to, who are respectful of our membership. So I will have to really, and that day's coming, sit down and really think about it and go over who's like almost like an A rating and B rating of the superintendents that I think that don't really care, that they have absolutely no care about for the well-being of our membership. And again, like I said one more time, I apologize to everybody for being redundant. If you get along with a certain superintendent or a certain TSS, that don't mean that serial killers have family that love them.
And friends.
So that don't mean that makes them a good person. That just means that they didn't get at you yet.
Facts.
So if your dignity shouldn't be about an extra trip or pudding or layup or anything about that, it should be about right and wrong. And it's just right and wrong. We got too many people down here that working hard. Listen, this is hard. And this is the hardest $100,000 in New York City that we got. And if you're getting over a $1.25, that's hard. Because you're taking away from your family, taking away from your physical well-being for that money just to live in this town. And this is one of the most expensive towns to live in. Yeah, so it's hard. We got our own problems. Why we got to come to work with people who just want, with supervisors who just want to make our life hard, who have no respect or appreciation for the work we do at work, the work we do at transit, or our lives, our families outside of the
transit. And just to be clear, one of the reasons why I got at Erica was because of a situation over a uniform. Now everyone knows who work for transit that these who the MTA contract out for our uniforms, they don't be having our uniforms in stock all the time. Sometimes you have to wait. Now, if I got a saying called effective management, right? Or a motto called effective management, right? The issue is that if they know, if you had superintendent, you had Sleeping Beauty over here, Child. You have Erica Williams. You have Zaleski, right? All of these managers have the ability to call the uniform office at 1:30 and say, "Hey, one of my workers over here, employees over here, need a sweater because the uniform company is backed up. Do you guys have an extra sweater that this person could pick up, or could you deliver it, put it on a train, and have it come to the terminal so she can have it when she signs in?" That's what effective management is. Effective management is not saying, "Hey, you don't got your uniform, it's all you." When they know how the uniform company is with these with supplying us uniforms. And not only that, the uniform company is getting over twice because they got a contract with the MTA in which they are getting a money from the MTA. And then if a member need to buy a uniform, we still got to pay for the uniform ourselves. So and the uniforms is cheap. So a pair of pants is not going to last you long. You have to buy extra working clothes because the quality is just not good. And then you got people out there saying, hey, well, why didn't she buy her uniform? Are y'all not thinking if the uniforms is not in stock, you think it's going to magically be in stock because she going to spend her own money?
Well, let's be fair about this to our brothers and sisters. Like, everybody's budget ain't the same.
They think it is. They think it is.
We live in a lot of our brothers and sisters live in hand to mouth. They just are. They leverage. Kids in college, mortgage, trying to save for a well-deserved vacation. But who knows what's going on? Taking care of a parent might be paying the health aid or something. There's a plethora of reasons why our brothers and sisters can't afford to buy uniform. Not to mention that they should give a stipend for every year. The shirts, those are the cheapest shirts known to men. I mean, they like an animal that they like grab at stains. Like it's like a stain magnet.
Facts.
So knowing that, let our brothers get, instead of buying 5 shirts and whatever, double that. Give us 2 weeks worth. How about that? So, but for our brothers and sisters who rip a jacket or shirts, whatever might have happened, whatever could have got ruined in the wash, whatever. You're right. But Mr. Rochelle, and again with Erica Williams, when I saw that picture, I called labor relations. I spoke to labor relations and asked, so I wouldn't be out of pocket. I said I wanted to call the line superintendent. I want to call and see what they're gonna do about Mr. Rochelle.
Do you talking about the sleeping picture that I got on the screen right now? Okay,
yeah. When I saw that, I ain't looking. But when I saw that, I called because this is a man like he's literally the fashion police for transit. So this is a man that I remember he said something to me. Like I remember I was standing there and he said something like, "Was tuck your shirt in or something." So when he went in the bathroom with that party, he came back. I asked him, "How was this?" He said, "I said I ain't changed nothing. I didn't do nothing." So he's just a guy. I didn't tuck my shirt in. The way when he went in the bathroom, it came out was the same way. But this is a man. I don't know why this is. It's almost like the fetish way. It's almost like people got that. What's that? When you got to clean up every minute and all that. OCD. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, OCD. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. When he can't get, if you got on blue, this guy wants to like, what's happening with people? There was an instant where a brother was cold. He was in the crew room at Euclid. He was cold. And this dude came in there and said, he was on his break in the crew room. And from what I told, they don't want CFS in the crew rooms when people eat and what have you. What they lingering around there. So he went there and said, trying to write them up for having a jacket, a blue jacket on break. This is a dude that he lives. This is a man, I don't care. And again, respectfully to my brothers and sisters out there. And I'm glad you having positive interactions with him. But this is a guy who got anything, a hat, a blue hood. He literally can tell if it's by the collar if you got a transit shirt on and it's covered. This is the type of dude, and we got dispatchers down here who know that everybody's in compliance and ask to see their shirts and jackets and all that. So this is a guy who, for whatever reason, he's like harassing our membership. But when I called down there and asked about it, I got another call back and they saying that I was interfering with the investigation. Why am I asked about Rochelle? Because I'm asked about him because this is a man who should have never been caught sleeping.
Facts.
Or patting the payroll because he was sleeping. He was supposed to be doing his job. Because if one of our members was caught sleeping, he would have took him out of service, and they will be taken out of service. So this is a man who walks around like he's perfect. Like he's God's gift to transit and to train operations and school card TSSs who at every turn, every opportunity he gets to harass one of our brothers and sisters about their uniform or blue shirt or hood or hat, he runs with it. And when he was held accountable, they didn't want to do their due diligence to make sure they offered him the exact type of punishment or critique or discipline that they dole out to our brothers and sisters. So he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. You can't go to sleep. I don't know what happened. You can't sleep on the job and then tell our members that they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Fact.
You can't be in derelict of your duty and then get at us for being that, from your perspective, being not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So he's the worst. He walks around, hides behind pillars, and all. I get a lot of calls about him. He's not respected. He's despised.
Yeah,
He's despised.
but
the way he moves around.
The thing is that he act like this because the people, the superintendents, they benefit from that.
Yes,
he's
I would say that Erica Williams enables him.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And
that's it. He couldn't do this. I can't speak for the new line superintendent, and I can't speak for the former superintendent line. I can't speak for them. But I can say that when things are happening and the people that I spoke to in regard to him, I've seen him spoke to, has always been Erica Williams. So yes, he's in power. But listen, all these invictive dispatchers, these rude and unprofessional dispatchers are empowered by management.
Facts.
The things that they get away with, that we couldn't, when we try to talk to them, the disrespect, and what happens is, you get a call. I got a call today. I ain't gonna say who because I want to see if it get resolved about a disgusting, despicable, and I'm gonna see him one day. Despicable dispatcher who was disrespecting one of our sisters, a young sister, very young sister, and you know a lot of the young tier sixes. We should be proud of because they come here and try to create a life for themselves and a career for themselves, and they chose transit, and we should mention them. We should be there for them, regardless of, you don't get caught up in that generation. If they don't know something, be patient and try to teach them. You got to mentor our young brothers and sisters. But what they do, what a lot of the superintendents do, and dispatchers and ATDs, is take advantage of them and disrespect them and berate them. So I had one today, a sister called me and spoke to the superintendent. We had a good conversation. But later you find out that the superintendent is trying to box this young sister into a corner to kind of shape the narrative of a G2. So she can absolve the dispatcher. So what happens is, that's why I say send the G2s to the union. And we can send them to labor relations or the general superintendent or the AFTO if that's the case. Because I don't trust, it's like, attorneys affairs in the police department. You trust police, the police are the police.
Facts.
So sometimes these line superintendents, they're not trying to help you out. They're trying to absolve their dispatcher or their deputy superintendent, or sometimes the general's trying to absolve the superintendent. So they're not really here, a lot of the supervisors, for to hold their dispatchers or their subordinates accountable. They just trying to find a way to cover up their discretion and their unprofessionalism. So he's coming.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, thanks for calling in. Drummond, that's Chris Drummond. That's the conductor, Towers Vice Chair for Local 100, giving us our thoughts on Superintendent Erica Williams.
Well, Michelle is Vice Chair, bro. I'm Vice Chair of conductors.
Yeah, conductor, yeah.
I thought
that's what I said.
Too. I mean, I'm here for you too, Towers. It's the same thing, but thanks for good speaking to you, bro, and be safe. And I'll talk to you soon. Everybody be safe out there.
We be good, bro.
All right, take care.
All right. Yeah, so I don't want y'all to think that none of this is personal against Erica. I don't know her, or Welshell. I don't know him, or Zaleski. I don't know him, but I'm talking about the culture. What they're doing is is what we're fighting against. You know what I'm saying? They don't know anything about effective supervision or effective management. This ain't the first situation I heard with Erica. I understand that people may have they side relationships with people, and just because they didn't affect you don't mean that they're not being harsh to anyone else on the property. And that's what we talking about. We paying attention to what's coming downtown at 2 Broadway. We paying attention to what supervisors is writing people up the most. We paying attention to what TSSs and dispatchers is acting crazy on the line, and the superintendents is not doing something. You have a lot of enablers here that allow this type of situation to happen, and we're going to fight against it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your title is. I don't care who you think you are. You will be put on Front Street the same way you put the members on Front Street when they got to go to 2 Broadway and be embarrassed or inconvenienced for some BS, when things could be handled out in the field through something called effective management. If someone has an issue with a uniform next time, superintendents, call the uniform office at 130 Livingston and try to help the employee instead of taking the easy way out and trying to write them up. That's not the way to be an effective manager. And we need more effective management here. Management that shows that we are a team, that we can work together, and it's not me against you or superintendents against hourlies or supervisors against hourlies. We are all in this together, because when the MTA ready to come down on either one of us, any one of us, we will feel the pain. Bottom line. So I'll wrap it up. If you want to donate to the show, the Cash App is Progressive Action 100. The PayPal is Progressive Action, and in the link in this video, you will see the Patreon. You could click on the link in the Patreon to become a monthly donator, subscriber, whatever the case may be. Thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.